If you're struggling to gain weight, chances are you are making the same mistakes as everyone else, and it's holding you back. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's stopping your progress and how to fix it for good. Don't let these mistakes slow you down in the gain weight process. A lot of people talk about 3 body types: ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. This idea comes from an old study from the 1940s that tried to link body shape to personality, something that doesn't make any sense today. But somehow these terms became popular in bodybuilding, and people still use them to explain who gains muscle easily and who struggles. The problem is, this classification doesn't really hold up. Nobody fits perfectly into one of these 3 boxes, and what actually matters for gaining weight and muscle is way bigger: your diet, your training, your metabolism, and even your lifestyle. The worst part? These labels hold people back. Some guys think they're ectomorphs and just give up on gaining weight because they believe they never will. But the truth is, with the right strategy, anyone can change their physique. Science has already proven that the key to growth is calorie control, proper training, and consistency. If you're struggling to gain weight, the issue isn't a label, it's how you're eating and training. So let's break it all down and figure out how to fix it. That's exactly what we're talking about in today's video. But before we start, drop a comment below telling me what your biggest struggle is when it comes to gaining weight. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss more videos like this. Let's get into it. The first step is simple, but essential. Record everything you eat. For 2 or 3 days, maintain your normal diet and keep track of absolutely everything, including the minimums. At the end of the day, use an app or a nutritional chart to calculate how many calories, proteins, carbohydrates, and fats you are actually consuming. Many people think they are eating a lot, but when they put the numbers on paper, they realize that they are well below what is necessary to gain weight. This happens especially to those who focus only on clean foods and forget that volume of food does not equal caloric density. But wait, I will explain this point in more detail in a moment. Another thing that confuses many people is the idea that they are already eating more calories than they are burning. The problem? The basal metabolism calculators that you find out there are based on general averages and do not take into account the specifics of your body and routine. So instead of relying solely on these calculations, do the following. Weigh yourself every day at the same time and write down the numbers. At the end of the week, analyze the average. If your weight is stable or decreasing, this means that in practice you are still not eating more calories than you are burning. The number on the scale does not lie. If you are not gaining weight, you need to adjust your calorie intake. Now, here's an important detail that could be getting in your way without you even realizing it. Too much protein. I know, everyone says that protein is essential for gaining muscle mass, and it really is, but there is a limit. Many people end up overdoing it, thinking that the more protein, the better. But the truth is that protein has a high satiety power, meaning that if you're consuming more than you need, you could end up feeling full too quickly and failing to consume other important calories. Furthermore, overdoing it on protein could mean spending more money unnecessarily, because this is one of the most expensive macronutrients in your diet. So, instead of filling your plate with just chicken and egg whites, balance your intake with good sources of carbohydrates and fats, which are also essential for muscle growth and will help you reach your daily calorie intake more easily. Now, let's talk about a very common mistake: the obsession with eating only clean. First of all, I'm not saying you should go out and eat junk food without control, but if your goal is to gain weight, you need to include foods with a higher calorie density in your diet. Many people focus on bulky, low-calorie foods like popcorn and an excessive amount of vegetables, and end up feeling full before they reach their calorie goal for the day. Sure, vegetables and fruits are essential, but balance is key. Instead of filling your plate with broccoli and ending up with no room for the things that will really help you grow, choose foods like pasta, oatmeal, and bread, which are easy to consume and high in carbohydrates. Another extremely useful strategy is to include liquid calories in your diet. If you have a fast metabolism and need to consume an absurd amount of carbohydrates, somewhere around 600 grams to 1,000 grams per day, doing so with solid food alone can be a huge challenge. That's where homemade shakes and mass gainer come in. Instead of forcing yourself to eat more rice and sweet potatoes until you feel sick, you can mix oats, milk, banana, peanut butter, and whey in an easy-to-drink shake that is high in calories and very nutritious. This makes it much easier to burn all your calories throughout the day, making your life easier too. A smart strategy to increase your calorie intake without compromising your hunger throughout the day is to consume protein shakes before bed. Since these shakes provide a feeling of fullness, drinking them at night prevents this feeling from interfering with your main meals. This way, you can maintain a high calorie intake throughout the day without that constant feeling of fullness, something essential for those who need to eat a lot to gain weight efficiently. Now, speaking of realistic goals, forget about the idea of gaining 10 kilograms in a month. Healthy and sustainable weight gain happens gradually. A good starting rate would be around 1 kilogram per week, adjusting as time goes by. And more important than just focusing on the number on the scale is monitoring your body composition. Speaking of daily calorie intake, an interesting suggestion is to keep the daily calorie surplus around 300 to 500 above maintenance levels. This way, weight gain will happen gradually, avoiding an excessive increase in body fat percentage. The goal is to gain muscle mass and not just accumulate fat. And this brings us to another key point: the illusion of natural gains. Many people want to gain weight without gaining any fat, but for most beginners, this simply isn't realistic, especially if you're not using steroids. If you have a fast metabolism and are just starting out, your focus should be on growing first. Yes, this may involve a slight increase in body fat percentage, but don't worry. Then, just do a good cut to define the shape you want. The mistake many beginners make is wanting to grow without gaining any fat, which ends up preventing any significant progress. Alright, to wrap things up, if you've been struggling to gain weight and want to do it the right way, consistently and with quality, make sure you're consuming enough calories to support your growth. But don't overdo it on protein to the point that you're compromising your overall energy intake. Prioritize foods with a high calorie density to make it easier to eat at each meal. Avoid extremely bulky diets that make it harder to consume calories, and consider strategically using liquid calories, like shakes and homemade mass gainer, to make your diet more efficient. Also, be patient and set realistic goals for your weight gain. Steady progress always beats rushing. If you got value from this video, drop a like. It really helps the channel grow. And if you want more content on training, nutrition, and everything you need to level up your physique, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss a new upload. See you in the next video.